do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
What's up, everyone? My name is Ethan. This is Courtside TV. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it. So, today I wanted to talk about Draymond Green. He is one of the most unique players, not only in the current NBA, but in the history of the NBA. He is very, very different from pretty much any other guy at his position with his skill set. It's all very unique. And so I kind of wanted to give just sort of a analysis on Draymond Green and why he is so good at some of the things he does, and what makes him impactful despite the box score and the stat sheet sometimes not showing his full impact. Now, you guys know I'm a fan of the Warriors and I'm a fan of Draymond Green. In fact, I've got his jersey right here. You can see that's my guy right there, Draymond. He has been an instrumental part of the Warriors' success over the last 6, 7, 8, however many years. He's been a guy who has been an all-star. And it doesn't necessarily come on, the scoring side of the ball. And people have made a really big deal about Draymond not scoring this year because he's averaging, I haven't even looked at it, but it's probably 5 or 6 points. It's nothing, 4, 5, 6 points. And you look at that and you're like, they're paying this guy, $25 million a year to score 4 points a game. What the heck is going on here? Draymond is not a guy who looks to score the basketball. He just doesn't do it. And I've seen that especially this season in comparison to years past. We kind of saw him do it a lot last year too, where he just would not even look at the basket at times. They'll leave him wide open and he's just not even thinking about taking the shot. He'll try to drive into the lane and do a little pass out to somebody else, even if he has a layup, it'll be contested. If he has a wide open layup or a wide open mid range, or sometimes he'll take a wide open three. But if it's not wide open, he's not really going to be taking the shot. And that's clearly a conscious decision that he's made. I can see him, thinking about this and saying, hey, I'm not going to score this year. I don't need to. The team doesn't need me to do it. What they need me to do is distribute the ball and play good defense. And that's absolutely what he's done this year. He's taken his role and figured out how he can age his game the best, how he can be most effective with the physical shape that he's in and the skills that he has, because we know that he has still been kind of recovering from the virus that he had for the first little part of the season. Right before the season started, he missed the first couple of games, and he's talked about it in media sessions this year about how he's still kind of trying to get his wind back and trying to get his conditioning up to tip-top shape, and it looks like he's slowly getting better and better and better as the year has gone along. He's only progressively become more effective as the season has gone. So you can see him getting his conditioning back, but he's decided hey, don't need to score. I'm just gonna do all the things that we know Draymond can do. We know he is a prototypical point forward. We see him handle the ball a lot, bring the ball up the floor. He's often the guy initiating the offense, standing at the top of the key, or behind the three-point line, and he's got the ball in his hands, and guys are flying around the court. That Warriors style of basketball, right? Steph Curry will be cutting off ball, and it has improved with the Warriors as a team learning how to play in this complex Steve Kerr system, because we saw this at the start of the year. Kelly Oubre was struggling. James Wiseman has struggled at points this year. There's a lot of guys who are new to this team and to this system who really had no idea what they were doing at the start of this season, but now that they're a lot more comfortable, they know where Draymond is going to be able to find them with the ball. They know where Steph wants the ball, and Draymond is a master at being able to find guys in their spots, get them their open shots, and pick apart the defense and know exactly where the opponents are going to be. And he's just able to just basically dissect everything down and get the most perfect shot pretty much every single time. We saw it on display tonight. I think was one of the more, probably one of his better performances of the season. I don't know if it's his best game, but it's certainly up there. He had a triple-double tonight with 11 points, 12 rebounds, and 19 assists. 19 assists is crazy when you think about that. He had, I think, 17 through 3 quarters, and we thought he was going to be done for the night, but the Hornets kind of started to make it a game, and so he did have to come back in the fourth quarter, got 2 more to get to 19. Crazy game. He was just able to, like, in the first quarter, I think he had like 7 or 8 alone, and all of those were on Kelly Oubre cutting to the rim, and all those dunks for Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre had like 6 or 7 dunks in the first quarter, where Draymond was just feeding him the ball. He was cutting off screens and getting his guy on his back and just a free line to the rim, and Draymond was finding him every single time. And it's just a beauty to watch. I kind of just wanted to rave about him tonight, just because I know that I love to talk about the Warriors on this channel, and I haven't in a while, and I kind of try to not do too much Warriors stuff on here, just because not everybody's a fan of the team. But I just have loved watching Draymond play, especially the past couple of games. We saw that meltdown that he and the team had in that last loss against the Hornets. They got their revenge on them tonight, but about a week ago, they had, Draymond had those double technical and got ejected late in that game, which led to the Hornets tying it up and Terry Rozier hitting that shot, and it was just a total meltdown. And since then, they played 3 or 4 games since then, and Draymond has just been awesome, and just been really at his peak of his powers, and he's doing everything you could ask him to do for the Warriors this year. And I guess the point I really want to make is that the box score is not going to tell you the full story, and people know that, right? Most smart basketball fans realize that, just looking at the box score and saying, hey, well, this guy only scored 4 points, how good could he have possibly been? Not everybody scores to be effective, and there are certainly things about Draymond's game that I wish were a little bit better, or at least where they have been previously, specifically his shooting numbers. His 3-point shot this year has not been awesome. We saw him have, in like 2016, I think it was 2016, 17, or 15, 16, like that, those couple of years there, he was having career years shooting the 3, around 35%, which is, more than serviceable. Like, that's, I think, a little below league average or around league average. But if Draymond could do that again, I mean, that would add a whole nother dimension to this Warriors offense if they, couldn't afford to leave Draymond open from the 3-point line. Because like I mentioned earlier, a lot of times he just doesn't look to shoot it when he's out at the 3, and guys will be sagging off of him, and he can take all those 3-point shots he wants because the defense is giving it to him. A lot of times he doesn't want to take them. So I wish that he was a little bit better from a 3-point shooting perspective, but in terms of playmaking and in terms of getting everybody involved and making the right basketball play every single time, there's nobody better than Draymond Green at this point. And I'm just glad that we get to see him, because he's, like, we use the phrase unicorn to describe a really big guy who can shoot a lot of threes. But I think that term can also apply here if we're just talking about a very unique player. There's nobody in the game like Draymond Green right now. There's just nobody like him, and there hasn't been in the history of the league. Maybe there will be at some point in the future, but this guy is in a class of his own in terms of doing what he does at his size, at his position, with his skill set, and just impacting the game in the most unique way possible. It's just crazy to think about. And maybe this is another video topic for another day, but just how perfectly some of these Warriors pieces have fit together. Like, if you think about Steph Curry as a star, and then, the ideal players that you would want around Steph to build a really good team, you would think, okay, a power forward who can pass a lot and doesn't really need the ball in his hands in order to be effective, and is really good defensively, and he can, I guess I shouldn't have said didn't really need the ball in his hands, because Draymond has the ball in his hands a lot and is effective with it, but he doesn't need a lot of shots, is I think what I meant. And that would be the perfect power forward to put next to Steph. And then you think about a shooting guard who doesn't demand a lot of attention, and off the court, and doesn't need a lot of shots, and he's just happy to be there and just show up and play basketball and do whatever the team asks him in Klay Thompson. So it's crazy to think of how perfectly these pieces have fit together for the Warriors over the past 6-7 years, and I think that's something that some people maybe have taken for granted, just how I think a lot of it just kind of happened by pure chance, because Draymond was a second-round pick, and Thompson and Curry were not the players that they are today when they got drafted. But these 3 guys have just been able to make it work so beautifully and so seamlessly. And then adding Kevin Durant in there is just a whole nother dimension. So it's just some beautiful basketball from Draymond and Steph right now. I'm just so lucky that I get to watch them and that they're on my favorite team. I really enjoy watching both of them every single night. Sure, are there things that I would change about Draymond? Sometimes, yeah, but I'm just really glad that I'm able to watch this type of efficient basketball. It's just really fun. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say on Draymond Green, the basketball anomaly. Like I said at the top of the video, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, ring the bell if you want to, leave a comment letting me know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about Draymond as a player? Love him or hate him, you gotta kind of respect the way that he's been able to affect the game in such a unique way, and just kind of I just really appreciate everything that he's done for the Warriors and for the game of basketball over the last however many years, just because I think it's had a huge impact on a lot of the young players, and the way that we scout some younger guys. That's probably something for another day. But yeah, with all that said, I will see you guys in the next one.